Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hare Jai Nitai 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 Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Janitai Gauda Haribo, 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 Gauda Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramhamsa Puri Brajakar Charja Ashtatarasura Shishamad Shila Abhay Charnada Vinabhakti Vedanta Shami Shila Prabhupada ki Iskon Pratistat Acharya Shila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramhamsa Puri Brajakar Charja Ashtatarasura Shishamad Shila Bhakti Sanat Shri Thakur Goswami Maharaj ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda ki Namacharya Shila Hardas Thakur ki Prem Sakho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasi Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Sri Navadip Mayapur Dham ki Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Ganga Mai ki Jamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi ki Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki Iskon Acharya Vrinda ki Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Vande aham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Shagarajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tangshaji Ivam Sadvai Itam Savadutam Parijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Vanshikalvaturubhyashcha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebo vaishnavebo namo namaha Mukam karati bachalam pangum alangayate gidim jat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurun dinatarinam. The entire township of Navadip Dham offered a jubilant and a loud welcome to Vishwambara as he returned from Gaya Dham. Friends and relatives, they went out and they met Vishwambara on the path and they accompanied him to Satchiyangan. They were all overjoyed to see Lord Vishwambara. Sachimata was overwhelmed with joy, and Lakshmi Devi, actually it was Vishnu Priya. Vishnu Priya was her face glowed with happiness as she radiated such joy seeing the face of her Lord, and the cloud of darkness, of loneliness dissipated with the arrival of the Lord. Madhya Kanda Kota Bhai Shuni Ek Chite Sankirtan Aramba Hoilo Jenamate. Oh, brothers and sisters, just hear the descriptions of the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in the beginning of the Madhya Kanda of the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Punar Bhakta Shange Prabhu Pade Namaskar. Again, I offer my obeisances to the devotees of the Lord and to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shpuruka Jibhaya Gauda Chandra Avatar. So that his pastimes may appear on my tongue. Vrindavan Das Thakur is praying. So the Lord, even the Vaishnavas were heard about the Lord's return, and they were also running to Sachiangan to see Lord Vishwambara. And the Lord was sitting and chatting in a very relaxed way with the friends and with the relatives, having returned back from Gayadam. As we'll hear shortly, Nimai Pandit, he actually spent quite a significant period of time in Gayadam, as we'll hear a little later. He actually had a residence there and he was cooking, so he was there for some time. So now he's chatting in a very friendly way, softly and very relaxed way with all the relatives and friends. And then he took a handful of intimate followers into the inner part of the home. And he began to describe to them the experience that he had had in Gayadam. Just by mentioning the name Gayadam, Pada Padma Tirtha, incessant streams of tears poured from Nimai's eyes so profusely that the entire flower garden in Sachi Angan was drenched and flooded with his tears just by saying the name Gayadam. He sighed deeply. Horripilations covered his whole body, and he shivered like an autumn leaf. And he began to explain, reflect on what happened to him in Gayadam. In the previous Kanda, in the Adi Kanda, in the last chapter, Vrindavan Das Thakur explains very vividly what happened to Nimai when he visited Gayadam. He considered to visit Gayadam just at the time when he was meditating on inaugurating the Sankirtan movement. And in his commentary on this section of the text, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that Vishwambara wanted to personally enact the pastime of taking shelter of a Vaishnava and accepting the dress of a Vaishnava. That means in common terminology what we would describe as converting or becoming a devotee, converting to Vaishnavism and wearing the dress, the tilak. So Nimai wanted to personally demonstrate that before inaugurating the Sankirtan pastimes. When he entered Gaya Tirtha, he saw the Brahmin priests were sitting all around the lotus feet of Sri Madhusudan. And there were Bengali Bhaktara Kichu Shunta Pachena Shunchi.
On 93 they can hear.
Chintanai.
हरे कृष्णा बेंगली ट्रांसलेशन 93 হচ্ছে ও চায়না 90 তে হচ্ছে বেঙ্গলি ট্রান্সলেশন এখন টার্ন করব 93 ওকে
ও বাঙালি ভাই বোনেরা আপনারা সব সময় মায়াপুর ধামে আছেন তা সব সময় এই মহাপ্রভুর নিত্য লীলা আপনারা দর্শন করছেন। সেই জন্য থ্যাংক ইউ বাবু। সেই জন্য ওনারা আমাদের অতিথিদের জন্য ওনারা অনেক দূর থেকে এসেছেন কষ্ট করে নবদ্বীপ ধামে মায়াপুর ধামে। তাদের জন্য আমি ইংরেজি বলছি, ঠিক আছে? কারণ আপনারা আমি আপনাদের পরিবারের লোক, আমি সবসময় আপনাদের সঙ্গে গৌরলীলা আলোচনা করতে পারি। So the flower garlands were piled up around the priests, filling up the whole temple. There were flowers, there were perfumes, scented oils, there were ornaments all lying around in all directions. And the Brahmin priests were there serving the lotus feet of Lord Madhusudan. The Brahmins, they looked like divine beings. And as they sat there describing the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord, Nimai had a divine experience. As he heard the Brahmins saying, Kashinath Hridoye Dharela Jai Charan Nirabade Lakshmira Jibon. Those lotus feet who are the life of Lakshmi Devi, who Kashinath, Lord Shiva, is always holding in his heart. Just by a sincere moment of meditation on those lotus feet, you can deliver yourself from the ocean of birth and death. And they quoted from Bhagavatam, Samasritaye pada pallava plavam mahatpadam punya jasho marare bhavambudi vatsapadam parampadam padam yadvipadam natation. That those who take shelter of the lotus feet of Marari, the killer of the Mura demon, it's like taking shelter of a boat which can take you over the Bhavambudi, the ocean of birth and death. It becomes like the water contained in a hoof print of a calf. Bhavambudi vatsapadam. Padam yadvipadam natesham. And they can completely liberate themselves from the entanglement of the material world by taking shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Hari. So hearing this glorification, Mahaprabhu, he merged into an ocean of ecstatic bliss. And tears profusely fell from his eyes, shivering, horripilation. He was completely overwhelmed just hearing these verses and taking darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord. Sarva Jagater Bhagya Prabhu Gauda Chandra Prema Bhakti Prakashera Koryale Aramba. In this way, Mahaprabhu, he began to demonstrate the divine symptoms of love of Godhead for Sarva Jagatera Bhagya, to create auspiciousness for the benefit of the entire human society. All the Brahmins marveled at the sight of Mahaprabhu's transcendental manifestations. They had never seen such a thing in a person before. By divine arrangement at that time, Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada was also present there. They embraced each other, and with great affection, Vishwambara said to Ishwara Puri Prabhupada, Prabhu bole, Gaya korite jay alion satya hoilo. Oh, sorry, I'll do that again. Prabhu bole, Gaya korite jay ailon satya hoilo Ishwara purite dekilon. That the whole purpose of my visit to Gaya has been fulfilled by taking darshan of you. Toma dekle matra kota pitrigan se kane sarvabanda paya vimochan. Just by seeing you, Koti Pitra and Matra, Koti Pitra, the millions of forefathers are delivered from all sins just by taking darshan of you. He explained that the holy place of pilgrimage can only purify the person for whom the respective ceremonies are performed. However, you can purify even the places of pilgrimage. And he quoted from Yudhishthira Maharaja's reception to Vidur in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhavad vidha bhagavatas tirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirtha kurvanti tirtani swa antastena gadabritaha. That because antastena, within your heart, gadabrita, you are always meditating on and carrying the person, the one who is carrying the club, gadabrita. Therefore, tirtha kurvanti tirtani, you can purify even the holy places by your presence. Ishwara Puri Prabhupada explained that, Pandit Ji, I know very well that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I had a dream last night. And in that dream, I met the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now that dream has become fulfilled, seeing you here. And then they carried on speaking. And Vrindavan Das Thakur mentions that Veda Vyas will subsequently appear, and he will in future describe the full details of the discussion between Ishwara Puri and Vishwambara at the lotus feet of Madhusudana in Gaya. Vyasadeva will appear again and describe this lila in more detail. He mentions this many times in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So then, taking permission from Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada, Mahaprabhu went and took his bath and then went and performed at the respective places the Shraddha ceremony for Jagannath Mishra. So completing his pilgrimage to all of the various places where the sacrifices for the Shraddha should be performed, he returned to his residence and he rested for a while, and then he began cooking. So we can assume that Mahaprabhu spent a few days at least in Gaya, because he set up a whole ashram there with his students. He journeyed with his students. You know the story of Nimai getting a headache and a fever, and all of the students were trying to come up with various remedies. And then he mentioned that the only remedy is if I drink the water of the bathing of the pure Brahman. So that happened on the way to Gaya. So he was with his students and they had their ashram there and he was cooking. So just when Vishwambara had completed the last preparation, at that time Srila Ishwara Puri, he entered the residence and he said, Prabhu Bole, Jabe Hoilo Bhagir Udoi, my fortune has just arisen so much. Anna Bikka Aj Kara Mahashoy. It will be a great, Mahaprabhu was saying, it will be great fortune if you accept your meals in my home today. And Mahaprabhu began to offer Ishwara Puri everything that he had just cooked. And Ishwara Puri Prabhupada, he protested, but then what will you have? I will cook some more rice later, Mahaprabhu said. And Ishwara Puri replied, what is the use of cooking again? Whatever there is, let us share that. However, Nimai was adamant and he wanted to serve Ishwara Puri. All that I have prepared, that is all for you. In no time later, I can prepare something else. So the Lord, with his own hands, he began serving what he'd cooked to Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada. Can you just try to reflect on the personality of Srila Ishwara Puri, who he is? That he's such an exalted Vaishnava that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, in the form of Nimai, in the dress of Nimai Pandit, in the mood of Nimai Pandit, he cooked and he served Srila Ishwara Puri the prasadam. Just imagine what a devotee is Srila Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri relished the Lord's cooking with great delight. And whilst the Lord was serving Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada, Rama Devi, Lakshmi Devi, she appeared unknown to anyone, and she prepared a whole other offering in the kitchen. So seeing that Puri Pad was fully satisfied, Mahaprabhu sat down and took prasadam. Ishwara Purir Shange Prabhura Bhojan Iha Sravan Mile Krishna Prem Dan. Hari Hari Bol. So those who hear Ishvara Puri Shange Prabhu Bhojan, those who hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feeding Ishvara Puri, immediately they're granted unalloyed devotion. After the meal, Mahaprabhu, he invited Puripad to rest, and he personally massaged his feet with oil, with scented oil, just like a disciple would do. In the purport, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that all of the precious and the valuable items that we own, they should be kept for serving the Vaishnavas rather than for our own enjoyment. The next day, Mahaprabhu, he approached Ishvara Puri and begged him for an initiation mantra. Ekon Bangla onubad hoche. And Puripad replied, "How is it that you ask from me an initiation mantra? I can give you my very life and soul." At that place, Tabu Tanshtane Shikko Guru Narayan, at that place, the teacher of the whole world, Go Narayan, Koryalena Dash Akhar Mantrera Grahan, he accepted a 10-syllable mantra from Srila Ishvara Puri Prabhupada. The Lord then circumambulated Ishvara Puri, and Ishvara Puri gave him some instructions, which are subsequently described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quite some time later, actually. How now Mahaprabhu is still in the household ashram, and still, as we'll be hearing over the next few evenings, if you come here at this time to listen, we'll be hearing how all of the respective members of the Panchatattva came together in Mayapur. And this is described in the first 6 chapters of the Madhyakanda of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So first, this evening, we're hearing how Mahaprabhu comes back to Mayapur and begins his Leela as a devotee. And tomorrow we'll be hearing how he revealed his supremacy as the Supreme Godhead to Srivas Thakur, who up to that point was not aware that Navadip Chandra, Vishwambar Rai, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he reveals himself to Srivas Thakur. And then subsequently Lord Nityananda, who's wandering in the holy places throughout India and residing in Vrindavan, he hears that Nimai Pandit has inaugurated, he's taken initiation in Gaya, and he's inaugurated the Sankirtan pastimes in Navadip Dham. And so Lord Nityananda, he returns, so he arrives in Navadip Dham, and he joins Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll hear about that in a few evenings. And then finally, Advaita Acharya, he went away. When he heard the rumors, as we'll be hearing today, he heard the rumors that Nimai has become a great devotee. Advaita Acharya, we'll hear about that in a few evenings. That he went to Shantipur and he waited there for the Lord to call him. And in this way he finally came, and he was the last member of the Panchatattva to assemble in Mayapur. And in this way the full manifestation of the Lord's glory in the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement is described, and we'll be hearing this. So Mahaprabhu stayed in Mayapur several years, and then took sannyas, and then went to Puri, and then he was in Puri several years, and then eventually he travelled to Vrindavan, and after visiting Vrindavan he returned back, and in Varanasi at that time Mahaprabhu further elaborated on the details of his initiation from Ishvara Puri. Then he mentioned, he's describing to Prakasananda Saraswati and the sannyasis in Varanasi that my guru said to me, Murka to me, this is at Gaya, Murka to me, you're a fool. Tomar Nahika Vedanta Adhikar, you have no qualification to study the Vedanta. Krishna Nama Japa Shada, a mantrasar. You just constantly chant the name of Krishna. This is the essence of all the Vedas. And Puripad gave Mahaprabhu another instruction, which is very important also. Nache Gao Bhakta Shange. You should dance, you should sing in the association of the devotees. Krishna Nama Upadeshi Tada Sarva Jon. And you should teach the science of Krishna name to all people. So these are some of the instructions that Mahaprabhu received in Gayadam when he was with Ishvara Puri Prabhupada at his time of initiation. So several days had passed, and Mahaprabhu also in Varanasi, Mahaprabhu also describes that he was given Harinam, the initiation into the holy name, Krishna Nama Japasada. And Thakur Vrindavan Das explains that he was also initiated into the Dash Akar, a 10-syllable Gopal mantra, Krishna mantra. So after a few days of meditating on the Diksha mantra and chanting the holy name, Mahaprabhu began crying out to the Lord, Krishna Ray, Bapa Ray, more Jivan Shri Hari, Kondike Gelo, more Prana, Kari Churi. Where have you gone, my life, my beloved? You've stolen my heart and gone. Rolling on the ground, covered with dust, he's experiencing intense separation from himself. He went back to Ishvara Puri Prabhupada. Kiba mantra dilo Goshai, kiba tar bol. What mantra have you given me, Goshai? Kiba tar bol, what is its power? Jopati mantra, koryale pago. I'm chanting, you've turned me into a madman. So Mahaprabhu, he said to the students, you all return home. Prabhu bole, tomar shokale jao gore, mui arna jaimu shongshar bitore. They know, it's so sweet, huh? Bangla anubad lagbe na radio, shop bujya. Mui arna jaimu shongshar bitore. Mahaprabhu says to the students, you all return to your homes, but I will not return to householder life. I am going to Mathura to find the beloved Lord of my heart, Sri Krishna Chandra. They all use their intelligence to try to calm the Lord. But he was in the mood of complete absorption and separation, constantly absorbed in love of Godhead. He was restless, he couldn't remain still. So, in the middle of the night, he slipped out of the ashram without telling anyone, calling out as he left, Krishna Ray, Bapa Ray, more, Paimo Kotai, E Mata Boleye, Jai Gaudarai. He's calling as he's going. Where are you, my beloved? Where are you? My dear Krishna, my dear child, where can I find you? The different rasas, my dear child. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was explaining that he's overwhelmed with all the different rasas. Madhurya ras, Vatsalya ras, they're all overwhelming him in different moments. Kota dure jaite shunena. So then he was running for Mathura in complete madness, a state of complete madness, just a few days after taking the initiation mantra of Ishvara Puri. And then, having travelled some distance, he heard a voice in the sky, Dibyabani, a transcendental instruction from the sky. Koto dure joito shunena Dibyabani. He heard, after some distance, the transcendental sound. Ekon matura na jaibo Dwijamani. Now, Dwijamani, Kresh jewel of the Brahmins, is not the time for you to go to Mathura. To me, you should return to your home in Navadip. To me, Sri Vaikuntha Nath, Loka Nishtarite, Abertina Hoeche, Shobar Shahite. You are the Lord of Vaikuntha, and you have appeared to liberate the entire humanity. Ananta Brahmandamaya Korya Kirtan, Jagate Bilaibo Prema Bhaktidan. You will propagate the holy name all over the universe, and you will distribute love of Godhead freely. We are your eternal servants, and it is our duty to remind you of the purpose of your incarnation. We place this request at your lotus feet. Please return home, and shortly you will journey to Mathura. So can you just imagine that as Gaura Chandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so much in love of Krishna that he forgets he's Krishna. He forgets he's God. And he's so absorbed in the mood of the devotee that the demigods in heaven, they have to make an announcement. Like, attention, an important announcement. You've forgotten, you're God. Oh. It's our duty to remind you. You have to go back to Navadip, so much to be done there. The Panchatattva has to be assembled. Sankirtan has to be inaugurated. Jagai Madai has to be delivered. Sannyas. And then traveling as a sannyasi. You can't go to Vrindavan now. Of course, there's some added details. But can you imagine? Just try to meditate on the inflamed emotions of love of God that are so bewildering, so blinding, that he's complete absorption. And this is being demonstrated by his pastimes. Before leaving Gayadam, so he decided to leave Gayadam and return to Navadip. Before leaving Gayadam, he returned and he took permission from Ishwarapuri. It's interesting that he took permission from Ishwarapuri to leave Gayadam to return to Mayapur, but in the middle of the night to go to Mathura, he just didn't wait for that. He just went. Didn't worry about that. But on the way back to Mayapur, he took permission. Je bashone Ishwarer Gaya Bijay Gaura Chandra Prabhu tar Miliba Hriday. Those who hear this description of the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his victorious journey to Gayadam, Lord Gaura Chandra will appear in their heart. This Vrindavan Das Thakur ki. So, Nimai Vishwambara, he's describing some of his experience in Gaya, in Shachiangan, to Sriman Pandit and some of the other devotees. And they were completely astounded hearing this description of Mahaprabhu's experience in Gayadam, and astounded at seeing the manifestations of love of Godhead that had overwhelmed him. And Mahaprabhu said that, come tomorrow to Suklambara Brahmachari's house. I want to disclose the sadness in my heart. So news spread to all the devotees like wildfire that Vishwambara Rai, Navadip Chandra, was constantly shedding tears of love of Godhead, Krishna Prema. Ek kunda gach ache Shribas Mondire. There is one kunda tree. Kunda is a jasmine tree in the house, in the temple of Srivas Thakur. Kunda rupe kiva kalpa taru obatare. That tree is a kalpa briksha tree. And all year round, the kunda flowers are blooming on that tree. It has an inexhaustible bloom of fresh flowers. So all of the devotees every morning would gather in the house, in the garden of Srivas Thakur at that kunda tree, and they would collect the flowers for their puja, and they would talk about Krishna. And so at that time, there was Gadadhar Pandit, Gopinath, Ram, that's the younger brother of Srivas Thakur, and Srivas, and they were all picking flowers, enjoying everyone's company. Just then, Sriman Pandit, he came, and he was in such a effervescent, joyful mood, laughing with joy. Why are you so happy today? The devotees asked Sriman. Sriman said, yes, certainly, something most wonderful must have happened. And they said, well, what is it? Tell us. And he said, so if you want to hear it, I will tell you. Parama Adbhut Kotar This is absolutely amazing news. Parama adbhut kotha, maha asambhav. It's extremely impossible. Nimai pandit hoile parama vaishnav. Extremely amazing news. Parama adbhut kotha. I heard that he'd returned from Gaya, so I went in the evening to meet him. He spoke with such humility, and he didn't in the slightest show any arrogance. It was like a different person. Their experience of Navadip Chandra, that he was the great scholar. At this time he had already defeated the Digvijay Pandit, and he was so famous and so champion scholar throughout Navadip, and he would challenge the other scholars. He spoke with such humility. It was extremely endearing to the devotees. He took us aside and he began telling us about his pilgrimage to Gaya. Just when he mentioned the name Pada Padma Tirtha, his eyes flooded over with tears of love of Godhead. His whole body was overwhelmed with ecstatic symptoms. And he cried out Lord Krishna's name, and he fell to the ground unconscious. Such tears were flowing from his eyes that it seemed that Mother Ganga herself was flowing there. Shrimaner Bachan Shuniya Bhaktagan. When all the devotees heard these words of Sriman Pandit, Hari Boli, Mahadoni, Korile Togon, they all chanted Hari Bol. What did they chant? Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So then Sriman Pandit, he told the devotees in the morning, and then he left for Shukrambar Brahmachari's house. Gadadhar Pandit, he thought, let me go and hear what he has to say about Krishna. So in the house of Suklambara, all the devotees had gathered there. And Navadip Chandra, he began reciting slokas. And then immediately he began expressing his sentiment of sadness. I had found the Lord of my heart. And then he disappeared. He fell down completely paralyzed. Mahaprabhu's reflecting on the darshan he had of Bangshi Dari, Nanda Dulal, in Kanai Natasala. But he doesn't describe it here. He describes that later in a subsequent chapter. He fell down completely paralyzed. And he embraced the pillar of Srivasa's house. And he began crying out, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And the pillar of the house began to shake, and the roof almost caved in. Krishna Prema, Kande, Prabhu, Shachir Nandan. Sorry, this is Suklambara Brahmachari's house. Krishna Prema, Kande, Prabhu, Shachir Nandan. Chatu Dike Bedi, Kanda Bhagavat Gan. He was completely overwhelmed. He's crying all through in love of Godhead, and all of the devotees who are surrounding him also are completely overwhelmed and profuse tears. They're all crying. Gadadhar Pandit, who was hiding in another room, he fell down unconscious. And then Mahaprabhu, he regained his external conscious after some time, and he asked, who is inside? Who is inside there? Suklambara Brahmachari replied, your beloved Gadadhar. So then Gadadhar Pandit came, and Vishwambara embraced him, and he said that you are so fortunate. From childhood you have such unflinching love of Godhead, and I've wasted my whole life in the pursuit of material knowledge. And now finally, when the most precious jewel, the greatest achievement of my life, and now he immediately disappeared. And then Mahaprabhu fell unconscious to the ground after speaking with Gadadhar. Shunya, Shokol, Mahabhagavat Gan, Hari Hari Bole Shop, Karanik Randan, and all of the Vaishnavas, hearing the news of Mahaprabhu's manifestation of love of Godhead, they were crying and chanting the names of Hari. Now, Nimai, he's a student of Gangadas Pandit. And this is his situation in the society of Navadip. So he left for Gayadam and performed the Shraddha ceremony. Of course, we heard the extreme conversion and manifestation of love of Godhead that erupted in Nimai's person in Gayadam. And then coming back to Navadip Dham now, as a student, he reports. He goes to Gangadas Pandit's home to take his blessings. Upon seeing Nimai Pandit arrive, Gangadas Pandit embraced him. Guru bole, and he said, Guru bole, Dhanna Bapa, Tomar Jivan, Pitri Kula, Matrikula, Kori Te Mochon. So fortunate, my child. Actually, when Jagannath Mishra, accompanied by Nimai, went to the school of Gangadas Pandit, and Jagannath Mishra said, I offer you my son. You kindly take him in and teach him everything. At that time, Gangadas Pandit said, what a joy, what an honor, what a privilege to have a student like Nimai. He said, I will treat him like my own son. So he's saying it's so fortunate that your life is glorious because you've performed the Shraddha ceremony and you've liberated your ancestors. He said that all of your students have been awaiting your return and they haven't opened their books since you left. Even if Lord Brahma himself had have requested them, they would not have begun their studies without you returning. So tomorrow you continue your teaching to your students. Hare Krishna. So the next day, after receiving the blessings of his guru, the next day, after taking his bath in the Ganga in the morning, Nimai, he arrived at the Durga Mandap, the temple of Durga Devi, in the house of Mukunda Sanjay. And all the students were already assembled there waiting for him. So as is the standard procedure for the students, when they begin the class, they call out the name of Hari Hari. Hari Hari. Hari Hari. Hari bole punti malena shishyagan shunina ananda hoilo Shri Sachinandan. So when the students, to begin the class, called Hari Hari, Sachinandan was overwhelmed with love of Godhead. And forgetting his external senses and the whole situation and the standard curriculum, he began speaking that the essential lesson of everything is Lord Krishna. All aphorisms, all commentaries, all dissipations were actually describing the holy name of Krishna. Agama Vedanta Adi Jota Darshan Sarva Shastre Kohe Krishna Pade Bhaktidan. All of the Agamas, the Vedantas, the Darshans, Sarva Shastra Kohe, they're all exclaiming that Krishna Pad and Bhakti, Krishna Pad Bhakti, that love of the lotus feet of Krishna is the real wealth in life. Kuruna Shagor Krishna Jagat Jiban Sebak Batsal Nanda Goper Nandan. Lord Krishna is an ocean of mercy, the life and soul of the universe, the lover of his servants, and the darling son of the cowherd, Nanda Maharaj. In this way, he's completely absorbed in Vangshidari, Nanda Dula Brindavan, and love of Krishna. And he can't think of anything else. He can't respond in any other way. The mesmerized students listened as if in trance. After some time, he came out of his meditation, and Mahaprabhu, he became shy, and he asked the student, how were my commentaries today? How were my commentaries today? And the students replied, we couldn't understand anything. You've said that Krishna is the purport to every word. Jai Prabhu, Ochila, Bola, Mahavidya Ras, Eba Krishna Bina, Ar Kichu Nahi Bash. That Lord, who is so absorbed in the scholastic pastimes, now did not relish anything other than Krishna. So the students, being completely perplexed, approached Gangadas Pandit. This is a lesson we can learn. If any confusion, you can approach a higher authority. So they went to Gangadas Pandit. And they're explaining, when he sat down to give the class, he simply connected every root verb meaning to Krishna. All of his purports and commentaries described Krishna. Since he's returned from Gaya, he doesn't mention anything else apart from Krishna. He's always chanting the holy name of the Lord. The hairs on his body stand on end. Sometimes he shouts, sometimes he laughs, sometimes he cries. He manifests different moods. Amriki Korbo. What should we do? The jewel-like teacher of Navadip, Gangadas Pandit, he smiled, listening to the complaints of the students. Go home today, go home now, and then tomorrow when you come to class, everything will be as usual. I personally will teach Nimai a lesson. You come with your books tomorrow to Nimai's class. So that afternoon, the students, along with Nimai, they returned to Gangadas Pandit's ashram. Gurura charan dhuli Prabhu lai shirei. He took the dust of his guru's feet on his head. Vidya labhau guru ashirabad kore. And the guru, he gave him a blessing. Vidya labhau, become learned. Madi Vishwambara, Gangadas Pandit began to explain that your grandfather, that's Vishnu Priya's father, Srila Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, he was a great devotee, but he was an acclaimed scholar and teacher, academic. Your father, Jagannath Mishra, he's a renowned, learned scholar and a great devotee. So your parents are scholars and devotees, your grandfather is scholar and devotee, so you be a scholar and a devotee. Only iha jane bhalo mate kora adhyayan hole shei Vaishnava Brahman. You become a Vaishnava Brahman through learning, and you maintain your family through teaching Vedic wisdom. And this is my instruction to you. You are a very good teacher. Who is there that can explain the Shastras with the in-depth analysis and focus that you can? Prabhu bole, tomar dui chaurane prasad, Navadipa keho mor nae pare bibad by your mercy. There is no one in Navadip who can defeat me in scholarship. And in this way, Gangadas Pandit was very pleased with Nimai, and he blessed him. So Nimai, again being illuminated, being directed, being advised by Gangadas Pandit, and in the proper course of Vaishnava Grihastha life, he began teaching with his students. And he walked down the street surrounded by his students, just like the shining full moon against a dark firmament of velvet with many stars. And then they arrived on the bank of the Ganga, and sitting down with his students, Navadip Chandra, Nimai Pandit, began establishing, refuting, and then re-establishing different points of grammar and Shastric analysis. And Mahaprabhu, he challenged that in Kali Yuga, the so-called scholars, they have no idea of conjunction, and he receives the title of Bhattacharya. And they have the audacity to debate Let anyone who can challenge my arguments come before me now and stand before us and see if he can defeat me. Mahaprabhu's Navadip Chandra, he's complaining. Let any scholar come now and refute my arguments on the Shastra. Like the Lord of the universe, Vishwambara, challenged everyone. And the scholars who at that time in the evening had come to the Ganga to pay their respects, when they heard Vishwambara, they remained in silent fear, their scholarly pride broken to pieces. And Nimai began his explanations on the Shastra for many hours, giving different commentaries, and it was late in the evening. And all of the students were completely, it's the Nimai Nimai we always know, the great scholar, and we're his students, and they're all completely enlivened. At that time, nearby the bank of the Ganga, there was one Vaishnav Brahmin Grihastha in his ashram. His name was Ratnagarbha Acharya. And that Vaishnav Brahmin was very fond of Srimad Bhagavatam. So sitting on his doorstep in the evening hours, as the goduli, the dust of the cows, was floating in the air, and the cows were returning to the goshalas, and the sun was setting on the evening west bank of the Ganga, he began reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, Ratnagarbha Acharya, and he recited this verse from the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, wherein it's describing where the wives of the Jagjik Brahmins, when Krishna and Balaram were refused the eatables from the Jagjik Brahmins, and then Krishna advised Balaram to go to the wives of the Brahmins, and then they very unhesitatingly they gave all of the eatables, and they said, no delivery service here, no parcel service here, we're personally going to the forest. We want to see Krishna and Balaram in the forest. So the wives of the Brahmins, when they entered deep into the forest of Vrindavan and they took darshan, Murali, Bankshidari, standing beside a tree. And this verse, spoken by the wives of the Yajik Brahmins, Ratnagarbha Acharya, was chanting. The wives of the Yajik Brahmins saw a beautiful young boy. His complexion was darkish. He wore a golden yellow cloth. He was nicely decorated with flower garlands around his neck. A peacock feather slanted sideways from his crown. He was with his friends. He stood leaning against a friend, his left hand on his shoulder, and his right hand he twirled a beautiful lotus flower. His ears were decorated with earrings, the shape of lotus flowers. His cheeks carried decorative signs of sandalwood paste, and a sweet smile played on his lotus-like mouth. When these words of Srimad Bhagavatam entered the ears of Navadip Chandra, he fell down unconscious. The scene is he's there, he's giving the class, he's challenging all the scholars, they're all completely traumatized, no one going before him. All of the students are cheering, "It's Nimai, he's back, he's the great champion." The verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam carries through the ether, enters the ears of Vishwambara. He falls down unconscious. Unrestrained tears flow from the Lord's eyes, which could flood the entire world. Shivering, horripilation, and crying. And the Lord began crying out, "Paya!" Actually, he embraced that Brahmin. He embraced that Brahmin, Ratnagarbha Acharya. He embraced him. And Vrindavan explains, Alingon, receiving the embrace of the hero of Vaikuntha, Prema Purna Ratnagarbha Hoile Togon. He was completely overwhelmed with prema, love of Godhead, at the embrace of Mahaprabhu. So then the Lord, he came back to the Ganga, sprinkled some Ganga jal on his head, and he sat down and began discussing topics of Krishna with the students. Just as Vrindavan Das Thakur explains it, just as Nanda Maharaj enjoyed his sporting activities on the bank of the Jamuna, surrounded by the cowherd boys. So in the same way, the son of Sachi, discussing topics of Krishna on the bank of the Ganga, was surrounded by his devotees. So then they returned home. And then the next morning, again the students returned for class. But everything that Nimai Pandit said revolved around one subject only, Krishna. And Mahaprabhu began instructing his students, Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Shuna Krishna Naam, Aha Nisha, Sri Krishna, Charan, Kara, Dhyan, day and night, meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna, chant Krishna's name, worship Krishna, hear Krishna's name. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadhan, he's your mother, he's your father, he's your life, he's your wealth. Charane Doriya Bholi, Krishna Dehamon. I fall at your feet and I beg you. Mahaprabhu, he's falling at the feet of his students. I fall at your feet, I beg you to engage your minds in thinking of Krishna. Charane Doriya Bholi, I'm holding your feet. Charane Doriya Bholi, Krishna Dehamon. You give your mind to Krishna. He went on all morning. It was already past noon. The students were completely hypnotized. Imagine sitting in a class like that. If only we had MP3 players and had it recorded. But Vrindavan Das Thakur, he's recorded and he's giving us the nectar. Shei Shob Krishna Das Janiha Nishchoy. All of these students, you should understand, they are eternal servants of Krishna. Krishna Jar Padayena Sheiki Annuhoi. Because they were personally taught by Krishna. How is there any other possibility that they are not his eternal servants? After some time, Mahaprabhu came out of his trance, completely overwhelmed with his preaching. He asked, how are my explanations on verbal roots? And the students said, well, the transformations that come over you when you're talking about Krishna, they're so wonderful, we've never seen such things. What transformations came over me? The students replied that last night we were on the bank of the Ganga and you were giving the class and there was one Brahmin and he was reciting the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam and you fell down unconscious and it was like the life air had left your body when you heard the verse. And then when you came out of that trance, unrestricted tears poured from your eyes like the flowing Ganga. And you were shivering so uncontrollably that 1,000 men couldn't hold you down. All of us held you tightly. And gradually your external consciousness returned. Everyone present commented that they were astounded that this is the Supreme Lord Narayan. All of your explanations on word meanings and aphorisms over the last 10 days only describe one thing, devotional service to Krishna and the glories of Krishna's name. For the last 10 days we have not been able to follow any of the points you're making in the lessons and we've completely become bewildered about the standard curriculum. Krishna Varna, the Lord replied, Krishna Varna ek shishu murali bajai Shabdeki tai bai bali sarvatai. Shabdeki tai bai bali sarvatai. Brothers, for this reason I'm talking about Krishna all the time, because all the time I'm seeing a little boy playing a flute with a blackish blue glowing complexion. And because I'm seeing him all the time, Shabdeki tai bai bali sarvatai. That reason, brother, I cannot speak about anything else. Therefore, I shall not teach anymore. I give you complete freedom. You can go to anyone you want and study. Because I cannot speak about anything else apart from Krishna, his name, his pastimes. It will not be possible for me to teach you anymore. At that point, Lord Vishwambara, Dvijamani, the crash jewel of the Navadip Brahmin, teaches. He closed his books and he tied them in a cloth. indicating that he would never study again. The students were completely shocked and completely bewildered and confused by this statement that you go and find another teacher. They responded that once having studied under you, how could we accept another teacher? If you've decided to give up teaching, then we have decided to give up studying. E mate poripunna vidyara bilas sankirtan aramber hoilo prakash. In this way, Mahaprabhu concludes his pastimes of the Vidyara Vilas, his pastimes as a scholar in Navadip. Sankirtan Aramba Hoilo Prakash, and the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is manifest, or has manifested. Shishyagan, the students, Shishyagan Balena, they asked Vishwambara, Shishyagan Balena, Kaimon Sankirtan, how to perform this Sankirtan? Apane Shikayena Prabhu Shochinandan, you please teach us how to perform Sankirtan. And Mahaprabhu taught them. Anyway, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shimadusudan Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shimadusudan. Shish. And this way Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Sankirtan movement to the students in Navadip. Abhishta hoy Prabhu nija nam ras gada gadi joy Prabhu dulaya avesh. So being absorbed in ecstatic trance and tasting the intoxicating nectar of his own holy name, rolling in the ground, Mahaprabhu rolling in the ground, he was oblivious to everything around him. And hearing the Sankirtan of the students, he called, sing on, and he kept falling on the ground. The earth seemed to split open each time he crashed to the ground. Hearing the Kirtan, all of the Vaishnavas in the area, they immediately came. Prabhuda abesh deki sarva bhaktagan Parama opurva shabhav mone. Seeing the overwhelming ecstasy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotees were completely astounded. They had never seen anything so wonderful. Parama shanto shab hoile antare ebe she kirtan hoila nodiya nagare. The devotees were extremely satisfied witnessing the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the village, in the town of Nadia, because they could understand that now all of their suffering and all of their misery being ridiculed and being disrespected by the residents of Navadip would all come to an end when Navadip Chandra begins preaching the Sankirtan movement. Arambhilo Mahaprabhu apna prakash shakal bhakter dukkha hoilo ubinash. Shakal bhakter dukkha, all of the misery of the devotees, hoilo binash, was completely destroyed. Seeing this great transformation in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his manifesting symptoms of ecstatic love of God, and his inaugurating the Sankirtan movement. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chan Jan Vrindavan Das Tachupada Jugegan. Accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki. So in this way, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur explained, he described the inauguration of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement in Navadip. If you come tomorrow, we'll be describing the events that were subsequent to this. When Nimai goes home and he's dealing with Sachimata and Lakshmi Priya, Vishnu Priya, and then he meets with Srivas Thakur, and then he reveals not only himself as a devotee of Krishna, but he reveals himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the house of Srivas Thakur. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the great Vaishnavas, and we will be able to describe those pastimes to you tomorrow evening. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there's a question? These subjects are just for hearing. Who can understand? What is big of answering a question? I think we won't take questions. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
तो 3 बार हरि बोल हो जाए. हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल. धन्यवाद प्रभु. So hope the devotees are liking this Sravan Utsava festival, is it? Oh, that's good. So Pankajangri Prabhu would like to say a few words.
Sravan Utsava ki. So it seems you enjoyed it so much. The devotees have gone to great endeavor to set this program up, and they've cooked lots of prasadam, but not many devotees to eat it. So everyone has to eat 3 plates tonight. So when you go home, you tell everyone how nice it is. Every day there's different speakers. Every night, Sripad Atul Krishna will give us more nectar. So you bring all your family members along. The idea is you can take prasad here in the afternoon and in the evening, so that you don't have to stay home and cook and go to the market. So you can just relax and just enjoy. So you tell everyone, bring on the whole family, and that's what it's for. It's specifically for all your Mayapur Vashish. Hare Krishna.
So আমরা আশা করি কালকে আপনারা একজন আর 3 জনকে আনবেন. ঠিক আছে? হবে? 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 হরি বল বলো. হবে? ওকে. হ্যাঁ? কোথায়? ঠিক আছে. Everybody like their own language. Here so many devotees are there. আমরা সবসময় বাংলা না হলে থাকে না. এটা বুঝতে হবে আমাদেরকে.